Max Verstappen wins in Italy for the first time. I told you he was going to win the race. Let's get into the top 3 drivers at the Imola Grand Prix. Welcome to my F1 channel. Welcome to Peter on Pole. My name is Peter in pole position. Let's kick things off. In third place, I'm going Lance Stroll. That is correct. Because Aston Martin, let me tell you something, it's the new Ferrari of 2020. That car looks shambolic. And my goodness, Stroll had a hard weekend. So did Sebastian Vettel. But Lance Stroll, I tell you what, he qualified P10 without even qualifying in Q3. He managed to finish that car in P7, but was later deduct points for a penalty. So he finished in P8. And to get that Aston Martin in P8, I tell you what, it's worth a mention. Any good result Aston Martin do before they fix their problems will always get a mention on the top 3. So considering all the circumstances, Lance Stroll, you are on the podium this week. P2 on the podium this week is going to be Max Verstappen. Yes, I know he won the race. Yes, I know he started in third place and went on to win the race. But I tell you what, he did a phenomenal drive. He still gets the second best driver for me because at the start, he had one thing in mind, and that was to beat both Lewis and Sergio Perez. So hats off to Max Verstappen. And once he went into first place, there was no turning back. Max was absolutely flying in that Red Bull. As I said, once he took first place, the rest was history. Big up to Max because he's actually recovered pretty well from the Bahrain Grand Prix. And although he started on third place, which might have seemed a bit disappointing on his part, I tell you what, he made no mistakes this time round. He did slide a little bit under the safety car in the formation lap, I think it was. I can't remember now. But anyway, he did rectify his mistakes and he put in a very professional performance. I'm sure Christian Horner will be absolutely proud of that one. Number 1, however, this week, let me tell you something. Lando Norris, hello, welcome. Because you've earned your right here on the top 3 drivers of the weekend. I'll tell you what, your qualifying pace was phenomenal. It was out of this world. He had actually hit P2 before his time got deleted for track limits. So make sure you got to keep the car inside the lines. That's what we got to do, Lando. But I tell you what, he started off in P7, I think it was, and he did a fantastic drive. I mean, oh my goodness, he did very, very well. He had a bit of contact, however, then it kind of brought him back to P9. And that was when I thought, okay, so his race is probably done for the weekend. But my goodness, he got straight on it again. He was back on the pace yet again. The car is fast. The McLaren is quick. That's one thing I'm learning this weekend as well. But hats off to Lando. After the weekend he's had, you know, he was very disappointed in himself about qualifying, and he even had people like Lewis Hamilton reaching out to him saying, look, don't worry about it, kid. You will be fine. And I tell you what, to get himself into P3 in the podium in the actual race, you would have probably expected Danny Ricciardo to get there before Lando, but Lando done his job well. He was quick. He looked really good. He picked his battles, which is what was very important as well. When Lewis Hamilton was taking him over, he had to worry about Charles Leclerc, and he finished third. He got the McLaren car on a podium this season, and it's only the second race of the season. Hopefully there's more, and I want to see more improvement. I tell you what, I'm seeing something different in Lando Norris. I'm loving what I'm seeing from him. He's being professional. He's getting his head down. He's not letting too many things bug him. I was worried about him this weekend, but he rectified every single mistake that he had. P3 for Lando Norris, meaning P1 on here on this podium. Big up Lando. I'll give a shout out to Lewis Hamilton as well, because at one point he nearly ditched his car. He managed to reverse a Formula 1 car, get it back on the circuit, and then finish in P2, which is very impressive. I cannot knock him for that. I had to give the other 3 their props. Shout out to the Ferraris as well. Carlos Sainz, you started P11, you finished in 5th. Good, mature race. The Ferrari looks better than it was last year. Thank heavens for that. Charles Leclerc started P4, ended P4, which is brilliant. He kept it consistent, and he looked good behind Lando Norris as well. He was chasing him down a little bit there. So when you consider the McLaren's pace and what Ferrari have gone through in the past few years, this is progression. Small steps, but they're progressing. So let's see what Ferrari do for the rest of the season. Watch the space from them. Those are my top 3 drivers at the Imola Grand Prix. Let me know in the comments below what you agreed with, what you disagreed with. Who are your top 3? I wonder how many drivers are going to stay in this top 3 week in, week out. This should be a very interesting season. We're going to really see some real skill coming out of these drivers. With that said, people, lights out.